The grind never stops, and at the heart of it all is clarity of vision. Without a vision, effort scatters in every direction and produces little impact, but with vision, effort becomes focused and powerful. Each morning, before you move into the noise and chaos of the day, you must revisit that picture of where you are going. The mind needs direction the way a ship needs a compass. If you set sail without a destination, the winds will carry you anywhere. But if you see clearly where you are heading, every gust, every wave, every challenge will be harnessed to move you forward. Clarity of vision isn't a luxury. It's the foundation of relentless progress. Think about it. Most people drift through life reacting to circumstances instead of creating them. They wake up and fall into routines that others have set for them, working jobs they don't love, settling for relationships that don't fulfill them, tolerating conditions that drain them. They have no clarity, no picture of what they truly want. And because of that, their grind, their effort, their energy, all of it is wasted. But when you carry a clear vision in your mind, when you hold it with conviction, suddenly your energy aligns. Your decisions become sharper. Your actions, even the small ones, have purpose. Vision is not just about what you want to achieve. It's about who you want to become. Every single day, ask yourself, what version of me am I building today? Am I living as the disciplined, courageous, focused individual I see in my imagination, or I'm betraying that person by living small? The grind never stops because you are never done shaping that person. The clearer you see yourself at your best, the more powerfully you act in the present. And clarity doesn't come by accident. It must be cultivated daily. You can't write your goals once assume you'll stay aligned. The world is too loud, distractions too many. That's why you must return to your vision every day. Close your eyes, see it, feel it, step into it. Let that picture of your future self guide you as if it were already real. When your mind locks onto that vision, your brain begins filtering opportunities. Your actions begin to shift. Your grind takes on a direction that cannot be stopped. People quit not because they lack ability, but because they lose sight of why they started. They forget the vision that once ignited them. They get caught in temporary frustrations, setbacks, and failures, and they abandon the path. But clarity of vision is what anchors you through the storms. It reminds you that the pain of today is part of the process that builds tomorrow. Without vision, failure feels final. With vision, failure feels temporary. It's just feedback, a signal to adjust and keep moving. Every great achiever you admire operates with crystal clear vision. They might not have known the exact path, but they knew the destination. They carried a picture in their mind that refused to fade. That picture energized them when others slept, kept them working, when others quit and pushed them to endure, when the grind seemed unbearable. The grind never stops because vision never stops pulling you forward. If you want to transform your life, stop waiting for conditions to be perfect and start clarifying your vision. Write it down. Speak it out loud. See it until it burns into your subconscious. Let it live so deeply within you that every thought, every decision, every action is influenced by it. When clarity becomes your daily practice, the grind becomes less about struggle and more about momentum. You don't ask, do I feel like it today? You simply align your energy to the vision and move. Remember, the grind never stops, but it doesn't have to feel endless if you know exactly where it's taking you. Clarity of vision transforms daily effort into meaningful progress. Each day you revisit your vision, You strengthen the link between who you are now and who you are becoming. That connection is what keeps you grinding with purpose, without excuses and without pause. The grind never stops because the vision never fades. The grind never stops, and discipline is the true currency that keeps it alive. You can have all the talent in the world. You can have intelligence, charisma, and creativity, but without discipline, none of it matters. Talent may open the door, but discipline is what keeps you in the room. It's the invisible force that holds everything together when motivation fades and when circumstances become difficult. Motivation is fleeting. It rises and falls with emotions. Discipline, however, is constant. It doesn't care how you feel. It is the decision to act in alignment with your vision, regardless of your mood, regardless of convenience, regardless of obstacles. Discipline is not something you tap into once in a while. It's something you commit to every single day. It is in the moment when the alarm goes off and you decide whether to rise or roll back into comfort. It's in the choice to finish what you start even when you're tired, even when the excitement has worn off. It's in the way you stick to your commitments long after the feeling that made you commit has disappeared. The grind never stops because discipline never negotiates. It's not about being rigid or robotic. It's about being faithful to your word, first to yourself and then to others. Every person who has achieved anything great has built their success on the foundation of discipline. They understood that while talent can give you an edge, it is unreliable without structure. Discipline is what allows talent to compound. Think of the musician who practices scales for years before mastery shows, the athlete who trains day after day. When no one is watching, the entrepreneur who keeps showing up for calls, strategies, and plans that may not pay off for months or years. Discipline is the price you pay for greatness, and the grind is where you make those payments. And here's the truth. Discipline is not about restriction. It's about freedom. When you develop discipline, you free yourself from the chains of procrastination, laziness, and inconsistency. You no longer live at the mercy of feelings or circumstances. You live by principle. You live by choice. That freedom creates confidence because you know you can trust yourself. If you say you'll do something, you'll do it. And that inner trust is priceless. Most people struggle not because they lack ability, but because they've broken their own trust too many times. They've told themselves they'll change, they'll work harder, they'll wake earlier, but they don't follow through. That cycle erodes confidence. Discipline rebuilds it one choice at a time. The grind never stops because growth never stops. Every day, discipline must be renewed. You cannot borrow yesterday's discipline for today. Just like physical muscles, discipline weakens when not exercised. That's why you must practice it daily in small acts and large ones. Say no when distraction calls. Say yes when your vision requires effort. Discipline in small things leads to mastery in great things. Don't wait for life to test you in a crisis. Practice discipline in the quiet, ordinary moments so that when challenges arrive, you are already forged strong. You will be tempted to break discipline, to cut corners, to tell yourself that one day off won't matter. But every act of discipline strengthens your character, and every act of compromise weakens it. The grind never stops because the process of becoming who you were meant to be never stops. Discipline ensures you keep moving forward. Understand this talent, get applause, but discipline builds legacies. When the lights go off, when the crowd goes home, when no one is watching, Discipline is what you carry with you. It's the reason you'll rise above average, the reason your vision will manifest, the reason you will succeed where others quit. Discipline is the true currency of the grind. And if you invest in it every single day, the return will be a life of achievement, fulfillment, and unshakable strength. The grind never stops. And one of the greatest truths you must understand is that success does not belong to those who simply manage time. It belongs to those who master energy. You can schedule every hour of your day. You can plan every task down to the minute. But if your energy is depleted, those hours will be wasted. Time is equal for everyone, but energy is not. Energy is the currency that powers your grind. Without it, you cannot focus, you cannot execute, you cannot persist. The people who excel are not just the busiest, they are the ones who learn how to generate and direct their energy with precision. Energy management begins with your body. Sleep is not optional, it is fuel. Too many people treat sleep as a burden, as if rest is a waste of time, when in reality, it is the most powerful recovery tool you have. When you sleep well, your brain resets, your body repairs, and your focus sharpens. If you neglect it, no amount of caffeine, no clever scheduling, no motivational speech can save you from burnout. The grind never stops, but neither does the body's need for restoration. When you master sleep, you master one of the greatest levers of energy. Nutrition is another cornerstone. Food is not just about taste or temporary satisfaction. It is information. Every bite you take communicates with your body, either fueling clarity and strength or triggering fatigue and distraction. The grind demands clean fuel. If you fill your body with processed foods, sugar, and chemicals, you may get a short burst of energy, but you will pay with crashes, mood swings, and sluggishness. But when you choose foods that nourish, protein, healthy fats, complex carbohydrates, hydration, you build a steady stream of energy that sustains you through long hours of work. The grind never stops, and your fuel should never fail you. Then there is focus, the mental discipline of channeling energy into what truly matters. Most people don't have an energy problem. They have an energy leak. They scatter their attention on meaningless distractions, endless notifications, and shallow tasks that drain without reward. Focus is how you conserve and direct energy. Each day, decide what matters most and give your energy to that. Say no to the rest. Protect your focus the way you would protect your most valuable asset, because it is. When you concentrate your energy, even a single hour of work can outperform an entire day of distracted busyness. Movement is another overlooked driver of energy. The body was not designed for stagnation. When you move, whether through exercise, stretching, or simply walking, you release chemicals in the brain that sharpen, focus, and elevate mood. You strengthen the very system that carries you through the grind. Too many people say they're too tired to move, not realizing that movement is the very thing that generates more energy. Every drop of sweat becomes fuel for discipline and clarity. Energy is also influenced by environment. Who you surround yourself with either energizes or drains you. The conversations you have, the spaces you work in, the noise you tolerate, all of it impacts your energy. The grind never stops, and if you are constantly surrounded by negativity, chaos, or disorganization, your energy will evaporate. Create an environment that supports your vision, clean spaces, inspiring words, supportive people. Your environment can either be a battery that charges you or a hole that drains you. Choose wisely. Managing energy is not about pushing endlessly without pause. It's about rhythm. Work hard, yes, but also know when to recover. The grind never stops, but it is not a straight line. It's a cycle of energy in and energy out. Push, recover, push again. That rhythm is what allows you to sustain effort for years, not just days. If you want to rise above average, stop obsessing over hours on a clock and start mastering the flow of energy in your body, your mind, and your environment. Protect it, fuel it, direct it, and renew it daily. When your energy is high and aligned with your vision, you become unstoppable. The grind never stops, but when your energy is mastered, it becomes a grind you can carry with power, clarity, and endurance. The grind never stops, and neither does the training of your mind. Just like the body needs exercise to stay strong, the mind requires daily workouts to stay sharp, resilient, and focused. You cannot expect to succeed in the long term if you are not building mental strength every single day. The mind is the battlefield where success or failure is first decided. Before you ever take an action, before you ever lift a finger, your mind has already determined whether you will endure or collapse. That's why mindset is not something you adjust once. It's something you discipline, stretch, and strengthen continually. Every day, you are faced with thoughts that try to limit you. Doubt creeps in, fear rises up, negativity whispers that you're not good enough or that the journey is too hard. Most people listen to these voices and accept them as truth. They allow their mindset to be controlled by circumstances, emotions, and other people's opinions. But those who understand the grind never stops know that mindset must be trained like a muscle. When doubt appears, you push back with belief. When fear whispers, you answer with courage. When negativity shouts, you quiet it with discipline. You don't ignore the challenges, but you condition your mind to see them as opportunities for growth. Training the mind is about repetition. You cannot expect to think strong once and suddenly have an unshakable mindset. Just as you cannot go to the gym one time and expect lifelong strength, you cannot think positive once and expect lifelong resilience. Mindset training happens every day in small, consistent acts. You catch yourself when your thoughts spiral downward. You redirect your focus when distractions pull you off course. You repeat affirmations, visualize outcomes, and choose faith over fear, not once, but again and again until it becomes automatic. That's how mental muscle is built. Pressure and adversity are not enemies. They are part of the workout. When life gets heavy, when setbacks arrive, when failure knocks you down, your mind has the chance to grow stronger. Think of a muscle, it only grows when it is tested by resistance. Your mind is no different. Every challenge is resistance training for your thoughts. The question is, will you let the resistance break you, or will you use it to build? People who collapse under pressure are those who never trained their mindset daily. They relied on comfort, and when life took comfort away, they were left unprepared. But those who train their mindset every day welcome challenges because they know each obstacle adds to their strength. Part of this training is protecting your mind from poison. The grind never stops, but neither do the influences around you. If you constantly consume negativity, toxic news, discouraging voices, your mindset will weaken. You cannot expect to think strong if you feed your brain with weakness. Surround yourself with ideas, conversations, and people that lift you higher. Read, listen, and learn daily from sources that fuel belief and clarity. Guard your mind the way a warrior guards his weapon. It is your most powerful tool in the grind. Another part of the workout is gratitude. Gratitude shifts your perspective. It trains your mind to focus on what is working instead of what is lacking. It keeps you grounded, humble, and positive even in difficult times. Gratitude doesn't mean ignoring problems. It means acknowledging them while choosing to stay centered in strength. That practice builds resilience, and resilience is the backbone of a strong mindset. Remember, mindset is not about perfection. It's about persistence. You will still face moments of doubt, fear, or frustration, but the difference lies in how fast you recover. With a trained mind, you bounce back quicker. You refuse to stay down. You remind yourself of your vision, your purpose, and your power, and you get back into the grind with renewed energy. The grind never stops, and your mindset must never stop training. Every day you build mental strength. Every day you choose resilience. Every day you push back against weakness. That is how you transform from someone who reacts to life into someone who creates life. Mindset is your daily workout, and when you commit to it, you become unshakable, unstoppable, and undeniable. The grind never stops, and the reason some rise while others fall is because they understand that consistency will always outperform intensity. Too many people live in bursts. They get inspired for a moment. They work furiously for a few days. They post their goals with fire in their eyes, but then the spark fades. They rely on passion. They rely on hype. And when that energy dies, so does their effort. But success doesn't come from a single heroic push. It comes from daily, unrelenting consistency. The grind is not about how hard you go once. It's about how steadily you go always. Think about the people who achieve mastery in any field. The musician who can play flawlessly did not get there by practicing all night once a month. They got there by practicing every day, sometimes hours at a time, sometimes minutes, but always showing up. The athlete who dominates the field didn't train only when it was convenient. They built habits of repetition. The entrepreneur who built an empire didn't do it from a single brilliant idea executed in a week. They did it by chipping away, refining, learning, adjusting, and showing up every single day. Consistency turns small, ordinary efforts into extraordinary results over time. The grind never stops because growth never stops. Every action compounds. Each day that you show up, even in a small way, you're building momentum. Momentum is invisible at first. It feels slow, even frustrating. But with time, it becomes unstoppable. Like water cutting through stone, consistency makes the impossible inevitable. One intense day of effort will not break the stone, but daily drops will. Too many people underestimate the power of daily drops. They want dramatic results overnight, and when they don't get them, they quit. But those who understand consistency know that progress is measured in months, years, and decades, not hours and days. Consistency also builds identity. Every time you act in alignment with your vision, you cast a vote for the person you are becoming. If you consistently choose discipline, you become disciplined. If you consistently choose focus, you become focused. If you consistently choose persistence, you become unstoppable. On the other hand, if you show up only when it's convenient, you build the identity of someone unreliable, someone who can't be trusted with their own dreams. The grind never stops because every day you're either reinforcing the best version of yourself or weakening it. Understand this: consistency is not glamorous. It is often repetitive, quiet, and unseen. Nobody cheers when you practice alone. Nobody claps when you keep promises to yourself in silence. But those unseen acts compound into results that the world cannot ignore. The stage, The spotlight, the breakthrough, those are the rewards of private consistency. Intensity will get you noticed for a moment. Consistency will make you remembered for a lifetime. Consistency also strengthens resilience. When you've built the habit of showing up daily, setbacks do not derail you. You may stumble, but you don't stop. You may fall, but you know how to rise again because you've trained yourself to keep moving no matter what. Intensity burns bright, but burns out. Consistency burns steady and lights the path for the long journey ahead. So stop waiting for the perfect mood, the perfect time, or the perfect wave of motivation. They will come and go. What must remain is your commitment to act daily. Even small actions done consistently will beat massive actions done occasionally. Write 1 page a day, and in a year you have a book. Save a small amount daily, and in years you have wealth. Train your body regularly, and in time you build strength. Consistency creates compounding, and compounding creates transformation. The grind never stops, and neither should you. Show up every day, no matter how small the step. Be faithful to the process, not just to the outcome. Let consistency be the quiet engine that drives you forward. Intensity may impress people, but consistency will change your life. The grind never stops, and one of the deepest truths you must accept is that progress always requires sacrifice. You cannot move forward in life without letting go of something. To say yes to growth, you must say no to comfort. To reach for success, you must release distraction. To embrace the future, you must be willing to part with parts of the present that no longer serve you. Too many people want progress without paying the price. They want the results, but not the responsibility, the glory, but not the grind. But every step forward is built on a trade. Sacrifice is not punishment. It is the price of admission to the life you say you want. Every day you are making sacrifices, whether consciously or not. You sacrifice time when you scroll endlessly on your phone. You sacrifice energy when you give in to negativity. You sacrifice opportunity when you choose excuses over effort. The question isn't whether you will sacrifice. It's what you will sacrifice. The successful choose to sacrifice comfort, distraction, and short-term pleasure in exchange for discipline, growth, and long-term fulfillment. The unsuccessful sacrifice their potential by clinging to habits and comforts that keep them stagnant. The grind never stops because every day you must decide what to let go of in order to rise higher. Sacrifice often looks like discipline in action. Waking up early means sacrificing extra sleep. Training hard means sacrificing comfort. Building a business means sacrificing free time, entertainment, or even relationships that pull you away from your vision. These sacrifices are not losses. They are investments. You trade something temporary for something permanent. You trade ease now for strength later, distraction now for focus later, excuses now for results later. If you are unwilling to sacrifice, you are unwilling to grow. And understand this, sacrifice will be uncomfortable. The very nature of sacrifice means you are giving up something you enjoy, something that feels good, something that feels safe. That's why most people avoid it. They want a shortcut, a way to keep everything and still gain more. But shortcuts don't last. They crumble under pressure. Real transformation comes when you willingly give up what no longer serves you, even when it hurts. The grind never stops because sacrifice never stops. As you grow, the sacrifices required will grow too. Think about the champions of any field. The athlete sacrifices late nights and junk food. The artist sacrifices stability and comfort to chase mastery. The leader sacrifices popularity to stand for what is right. The entrepreneur sacrifices weekends and vacations to build a vision bigger than themselves. These sacrifices may look painful, but they produce greatness. Most people only see the rewards, the trophies, the money, the recognition, but they don't see the sacrifices made in silence, the things given up in private, so that progress could be born in public. Sacrifice also reveals what you value most. When you sacrifice distractions for your goals, you prove that your goals matter. When you sacrifice comfort for growth, you prove that growth matters. Sacrifice is the evidence of commitment. Without sacrifice, words are just noise. Anyone can say they want success, but only those who pay the price will reach it. The grind never stops because every day is a test of whether your actions match your words, whether your sacrifices match your vision. Sacrifice is not forever. It is temporary, but the rewards are lasting. The nights you stay focused, the hours you invest, the pleasures you resist, they compound into results that last a lifetime. The grind demands you to choose between what you want now and what you want most. Progress requires that you stop living only for today and start building for tomorrow. Every sacrifice you make today plants a seed for your future. So embrace sacrifice. Stop seeing it as loss and start seeing it as the doorway to everything you desire. The grind never stops, and neither does the process of trading lower things for higher ones. Sacrifice is the bridge from who you are to who you can become. The bigger your vision, the bigger the sacrifices required. But when you understand that each sacrifice is shaping you, strengthening you, and preparing you, you stop resisting it. You start to welcome it. And that is when true progress begins.